Night on the Galactic Railroad. Kenji Miyazawa. One afternoon class. In U.S. or is said to be the river that way. Has been or is said that after the flow of milk. This vaguely and white thing is really something you know as teacher. Was hung on the blackboard a view of the big black constellation. While pointing to the place. Such as a galaxy band kaboo, white from top to bottom. Everyone was over the question. Campanilla was raised their hands. Then 4. I gained 5 people hand. Giovanni also trying to raise a hand. It was stopped as it is in a hurry. Certainly that's there is an all-star. Did one day I read in a magazine. These days Giovanni sleepy even though the classroom every day. Since this does not even read time to read a book. Was to have the feeling that somehow what also do not know well. But the teacher was to be found it early. Mr. Giovanni, will you know? Giovanni was rising vigorously, but, when we stood was not able to any more clearly answer it. Zenari is looking back from the front of the seat. I laughed. Kusuto, look at the Giovanni. Giovanni has gotten to the waiting red and embarrassed anymore. The teacher was also said, if you look yoke the galaxy at large telescope galaxies what roughly. I thought after all Giovanni its star, but was not able to answer too soon now. Doctor, it was a while troubled state, with its eye towards Campanilla. It was singled out as in Campanilla's. Then Campanilla, who raised their hands in so healthy up as could not, still hesitantly stood up while still answer. Although the teacher was watching for a while, staring Campanilla as surprising, in a hurry. Saying, in good, I was pointing to the star map on your own. When you look at this vaguely and white galaxy with a large good telescope, you look to the other a lot of small star. Would be Giovanni's likely. Giovanni nodded, become a waiting red. But now it is filling up tears among the eye of someday Giovanni. I knew so. Of course Campanilla also know. It's there was some of the magazines I read together and Campanilla among the father of Dr. Someday. Campanilla. It wherein not Campanilla is. And read the magazine. Immediately from the father of the study bring such books out huge. Spread a place called Galaxy. Forever look at the beautiful pictures with dots in white to completely black page filled with 2 people. It was the could. Although it was not even supposed to forget it. Campanilla was not immediately answer. I these days is in the morning painful work in the afternoon. Lucidly not playing for everyone anymore out to school. Campanilla both now that you do not say so much stuff. Campanilla I did not reply deliberately feels sorry, know it. The more irresistible and think so. Myself Campanilla also pathetic feel like to it did. The teacher was also said. If you think say if the Milky Way is that it is really the river. Think that one by one the small star is not everyone hit to the bottom of sand and gravel of the grain of the river. This also the flow of big out. Such milk Nara. Very similar to the more Milky Way. This means that the stars are all. I also hit the ball fat oil or floating in like fine sum of milk. If the sun what if you say that or hit the water of the river. It intended to convey at a rate which is the light that vacuum. You are floating among them the sun and the earth after all. That is not live in among the water of our also the Milky Way. And among the water of the Milky Way looking at the square from. Just as the water looks blue deeper. I looked gathered a lot of stars as a place deeply distant at the bottom of the Milky Way and therefore appear blurry white. I refer to this model I. The teacher was pointing to the many glowing sand large on both sides of the convex lens that contains the grain of the inside. The form of the Milky Way is just of a kind. Grain glow of this each time you think star everyone glowing just like yourself and our sun. Earth our sun is in this almost mid is in its immediate vicinity. You look has a look around the inside of the lens standing in the middle of the night. Here towards the lens would only see a small shiny grain that is star so thin. Kokia because here of who has a thick glass. Glowing grain that is that the star is seen that far to the stunning looks white a lot. That's the theory of galaxy of today. Sun. If either the size of this lens is much Also in the because of the variety of stars is another time. I will talk to the next of science of the time. In today because I festival of the galaxy. You look well at the sky out to the outside. In up to here. Please put away your books and notes. Quote. And although the classroom throughout the sound are piled up, this open or close the lid of the desk. For a while was full. Soon everyone was out of the classroom and the bow stand properly. To letterpress office. When Giovanni leaves the gate of the school, the same set of 7 or 8 people had gathered at the corner of the cherry tree of the schoolyard to the campanile and not go back to the house in the middle. It's gave color consultation to go to take the karasuri to flow to the river and cooked our blue lights to Hoshi Matsuri tonight. But Giovanni came without hesitation out of the gate of the school waving a large hand. Then, in the houses of the town are hanging a ball of leaves of you in the festival of the galaxy of tonight. Or put the lights in the branches of cypress. Where are you want a variety? Giovanni not go back into the house and go up, take off your shoes and entered the big letterpress. Plants are bent are 3 of the town. Was open the big door of the end of the road. With the electric lamp to still noon during. Around a lot of the rotary press and batari. People who have or apply Ramu Pushito or tied in the head with a sharp is. A lot while or counting read to sing something I had been working. Giovanni has a bow made from just the entrance to the 3rd high takako to the sitting of people. Place. From that person for a while looking for a shelf. Saying, I do go to pick up this much. We passed one piece of paper. Giovanni with a lot of the other side of the electric lamp has taken out one of the small flat box from the feet takako of the person. And Komu squatting to be a row of the corner of the wall where propped up. A print of about like miliary with a small pair of tweezers next it began picking up to the next. From. While the person who was the blue breast addressed is through the back of Giovanni. As. Magnifying glass Kun. Good morning and says that. Nearly 4, 5 people were laughing cold to not suitable even here without making even voice. Giovanni has gradually picked the print while wiping the eye nothing downy do. When I was standing for some time to sell is at 6. Giovanni from brought together a piece of paper that has once again get a flat box that takes into. Full of print picked up, was brought to a little while ago takako of people. The man was faintly nodded received it in silence. Giovanni came to the place of the calculation table to open the door when the bow. Then people wearing white clothes gave it still silently a small silver coins to one Giovanni. If Giovanni is a high-spirited good bow suddenly become good face color. We jumped out to a table with a bag placed under the base. Then cheerfully while whistling closer to the bakery and the one with a sugar cube the lump of bread. One began to run to buy a bag in full speed. 3 house. The Giovanni came back momentum well. Was a small house in a back street. That is the most left-hand side of the 3 side-by-side entrance to the 2 small windows each. Other and planted purple kale and asparagus in the empty boxes had become to leave the cages. Oi. Mom, I went back now. Condition was not bad, Giovanni told while off your shoes. Oh, Giovanni, our work will taro terrible. It is cool today. I am a good zudo condition. Giovanni if you go up the front door Giovanni mom did was not sleep wearing a white whip in the immediate entrance of the chamber. Giovanni has opened the window. Mom, I've bought a sugar cubes today. I think I'll put it in milk. Oh, you earlier in your uplink. Because I do I is not still want. Mother, the sister when I returned. Oh, I went back 3 o'clock around. Everyone I done everywhere. Mother of milk I wonder if it not come. What would have not come nay? Let's koyo take go I. Oh, I went up you to you earlier because I'm good at slowly. Sister has it. I went put to it by leftover something in the tomato. Let me eat. Giovanni was a while munching eat together and bread to take a dish from the tomato at the window. Hey mom, I think my dad is coming surely soon return. Oh, I also think so. But you is why I think so. because it was written that it was very good the fishing of the north this year in this morning's newspaper. I'm oh hey, Dad might not come out to fish. I have surely out. Dad I is not supposed to have done such a bad such as entering the prison. Corner of jaw at all Dono reindeer of this before Dad is such out giant was donated to the school. Brought crab we have a everyone specimen chamber Dat now Dono. Teachers take one after the other to the classroom 6th grade softening when the lesson. Quote, Dad I went with the next will come with you to the jacket of the sea otter. I everybody say it and meet me. I say to jeer. I speak ill to you. Yeah, but Campanilla something never told. Campanilla everyone is sorry unlikely when you say such a thing. The father of the inner and father of Campanilla. I seem to have been friends from the time just small. Such as ye. Oh so Dad I went tangle to one of Campanilla brought me. Those days I wish was good. I'm in one of the closer was. Campanilla within the middle often Campanella to return from school there's a train running in the alcohol lamp was I. They have also attached utility poles and signal mark on it is rounded when combined 1 nanolights. Of the signal standard relay was so only turn blue when the passage of the train. I use the oil when the day is no longer alcohol. Cans were completely sooty. I see it. I go to turn now also newspaper every morning. But I because at any time have the entire home yet you doing. Early because I have a dog called Zawaru. Tail it like a broom. I come with sounding the nose and go. Comes to the corner of Zudo the town. I sometimes come more with. Tonight with everyone the lights of Karasu or Datum going into the sink to the river. I'm sure even keep up with the dog. Quote, yes. Festival Dane of tonight Galaxy. Yeah, come look while taking my milk. Do keep going oh please do not enter into river. Oh, I just see from my shore. Come carry it out in an hour. Do keep in more playing. Because there is no worry if Campanella's in together. Oh I'm sure together. Mom, do you keep close the window? Oh, because if. Another cool. Giovanni closed the window standing. Often wearing shoes momentum and put away the bag of dishes and bread. It came out of the dark doorway while saying, I come back in half in an hour. 4 Centaur Festival of the Night. Giovanni is a lonely Kuchatsuki. Such as blowing the whistle. I did came down the hill of the town lined up in the pitch black of Cyprus. The big one of the city lights a Sakano Shida is. Stood glowing pale fine. Giovanni is. If you went down towards the more and more electric lights. As the monster until now. Long absent-minded, Giovanni of shadow, which had pulled to the back, is clearly black gradually darker, or waved or raised the foot. I was coming around toward the side of the Giovanni. I'm fine locomotive. Here is all fast because gradient. I now pass over the electric lamp. Boats. Et al. Now is my silhouette is a compass. Around Anani flipping, came towards previous, while Giovanni is I think that. When the passed under the city lights and stride, sudden daytime scenarios, wearing a pointed new collar shirt, came out from the dark alley of the other side of the electric lamp. Gerardo I was passing and Giovanni, while Sineri, Karasu or go into the sink. Giovanni is not Shimawa say still so. Cried from behind to throw the Giovanni, from Dad jacket is'll come of the sea otter, the child. Giovanni, that chest is cold. I thought so or so eduking. Giovanni as challenge. Zineri was returned shouting hi. But the other Zineri had entered into the house, which was planted the other side of Heba. Zineri why would say do that to me is not Nan Nemo. Like the habit, such as a mouse. Zineri's stupid body is to say do that to me is not Nan Nemo when running. Giovanni. While thinking of bustling variety, in the branches of a variety of lights and trees, went through the city that has been decorated to completely clean. The watchmaker of the store with the bright neon lights. 1. S. Owl red eyes Kosian stone for each is. Resting or moving innovation Kurukuru. The thick glass of the van was a color, such as a variety of jewelry Site, or Su slowly shooing like a star. Also from the other side, men and horses of the copper was to or coming around slowly to here. Round black planisphere was as adorned with leaves of blue asparagus to the middle. Giovanni is beside himself, was married to the view of the constellation. If in that view, as seen in the school lunch, I was small Zudo. But when turning the board to meet on that day and time, are adapted to appear at around some of the sky as it is an oval that has come out at that time. Also as in the middle made the band, such as galaxies over from top to bottom was Kemu, the defense. At the bottom that did seem to have raised even faintly explosion to hot water up. In addition to a small telescope with 3 legs behind there stood glowing yellow. Wrote the sky throughout the constellation of the wall behind most in the form of a mysterious beast and snakes and fish and bottles large figure had took. Really like this kind of scorpion Dano I wonder, or tightly empty Dano warriors. I stood for a while vaguely, I would like to walk also in its far. Then Giovanni had left the shop and suddenly remembered that the mother of the milk. And while worrying about the cramped jacket shoulder, but still went through the town waving a big hand on purpose, proud. The air is crystal clear, to have flowed through the streets and shops as if it were water. Street lamp is wrapped in the branches of all the deep blue fir and oak. Such is the tree in front of the 6 pieces of plane trees of the electrical company. Medium with a lot of beans electric lights in. Really everywhere did look like a city of the mermaid. Kodamoras. Everyone wearing a new folding marked with kimono. Or blowing the whistle of Star Tour. Or running and shouting, Centaur. Sends down do. And or burn. The blue magnesia of fireworks. Was the playing happily. But Giovanni, leaning against the also deeply neck one day, while thinking that the liveliness of everywhere was like differently, did rush towards the milkman. Giovanni, sometime poplar tree just on the edge of the town is also several present. He had come to the place you are floating in the high stars Ola. Enter the black gate of the milkman, standing in front of the kitchen much mortar to the cattle smell. Giovanni, take off your hat. If you have referred to as this evening, did not like anyone had been Shinto in the house tonight. I'm sorry, Giovanni cried again, standing straight. Then, at a later time, the woman took years to come somewhere, condition is out too soon, so bad. I said or for something in the mouth. That, today, because the milk did not come to me Toko. I went up to gut. Giovanni has told vigorously hard. I do not know, not now, nobody. Please be in tomorrow, while the person rubbing the Toko under the red eye said he looks down at Giovanni. Mama is in trouble if not tonight because I'm sick. The man was I knew I would go again. Please come from a little more standing in. Really? In thank you. Giovanni came out from the kitchen to the bow. Excessive town that became the cross. If you tried to bend in front of the people of the grocery store to go to the other side of the bridge, and jumbled black shadows and dimly white shirt. 6, 7 students at all, blew the whistle or to laugh. I saw the coming doing with Denghuo naming Karasuri. Whistle also the laughter as well. Did some of the guys heard remember? It was a child, et al. Giovanni of same class. Giovanni was to get back involuntarily as unnerving, but thought better in. Walked over there vigorously further, as trying to say as go to the river. Giovanni, when I thought as packed with a little throat. Giovanni, come jacket of sea otter, a little while ago of Zaneri cried again. Giovanni, come jacket of sea otter, immediately everyone, followed by shouted. Giovanni become a waiting red. Do not know be walking anymore. If you try to sugi yo go in a hurry. I Campanella there were among them. Campanella is sorry likely, a little laughing in silence, was looking towards the Giovanni and so on or will not occur. Giovanni, run away as to avoid the eye, and soon went past a high form of blame Campanella. Everyone was whistling tendini. When you turn the town too much. If you look back. Zaneri was not looking back. And Campanello also. I had walked towards the bridge that looks vaguely beyond, blowing a high whistle. Giovanni, is lonely, not say anything. Began to run suddenly. Then place your hand on the ear. A small child at all had been hopping, jumping on one foot, is saying loudly. And I think of Kakeru. Interesting, is Giovanni. Wow, cried the most. Soon Giovanni hurried toward the black and started to run the hills. Pillar of 5 weather wheel. Behind the ranch become loose hill. The black flat summit, under the north of Akuma star. Lower blankly than usual. Seemed a continuous. Giovanni. An alley of small forest that verge off of another Russian. Went steadily up. Darkened grass. Between the thicket of bushes appear in various forms. The small road is. It had been docile light of the devoted white starlight. In the grass. In some small insects issue a shiny AOBI hunting. Some leaves are Dessa watermark blue. Giovanni. I thought also seems to Akari of Karasuori that took the guys a little while ago. It's black, and beyond the forest of pine and oak, and suddenly deserted sky. Hirake has seen the Milky Way is over to the north from Nonan et al. And south, also at the top, because the pillars of the weather wheel was also divided. Seen did Surigane so or wild chrysanthemum or flowers. To everywhere each eman. To bloom, and so began to smell even in the middle of a dream. The bird is one pun I went through while continuing squeal the top of the hill. Giovanni, come under the pillars of the weather wheel of the top. The body that Okadoka threw in the cold grass. Town of light is. Tamori through the dark to light a view of the bottom of the shrine of the sea. Voices and whistling, singing children. Et al. It was the patchy cry be heard faintly. Wind sounds in the distance. The hills of grass also quiet. So Yogi. It was cold also, shirt wet with Giovanni of sweat. The sound of the train from the field have been heard. The little train of the window looks a row small red. A lot of travelers are in it. Or peeled apples. Or laughing. If you thought that the foo various Giovanni is sad, not be said any more downright. Also is listed in the sky the eye. During this time, no sheets. Manuscript 5. But even looking at how much the sky, such as said of the teacher to lunch, did not think its cold toko was deserted. Not far from it. The more I look, there is the way not as had been considered as fields that are a small forest and pasture. And Giovanni blue Kodo star. It is also the 4 to 3. Flickering blink. Legs and retract, and out of nothing downy I saw from extending finally as shoe and long. In addition to just the city under the eye, I thought to still look like a big smoke of the collection or one of a lot of stars were blurred. 6 Galaxy Station. And Giovanni is just the form of a triangle mark. The pillars of the weather wheel was dimly. Some time back, we saw that, or some time like a firefly. Tomo disappear. Peka Peka. It is gradually clear. Finally it looks like not phosphorus to move. I stood in the empty field of dark steel blue. Such as blue steel plate, just yea newly now. In the field of the sky. I was standing at straight skip. Then, somewhere, is mysterious voice. Galaxy Station. And I think I did the voice say that Galaxy Station. Suddenly front of the eye. And suddenly become bright. To fossil the fire like a billion of thousands of squid on one pen. Condition that was submerged in the sky 10. Also with a diamond company. In order to price is not easy. And pretended not to deliberately him. A diamond that has been hidden. Someone suddenly turned over. The food that was handed out. The front of the Isato is brighter. Giovanni. I have rubbed involuntarily I nothing downy do. When I noticed. From a little while ago, every rumble, was the little train had continued to run writing of Giovanni. Really Giovanni, the night of the light rail, to the passenger compartment lined with electric lamp of small yellow. I was sitting while looking out the window. Some of the cabin, sitting strung a blue velvet is, in a like fate to confront a wide open. The walls painted a varnish of the other side of the rat color. Was the large buttons of brass or two glowing directly in front of the seat. wearing a black outerwear as wet. The highly political children, I noticed in looking out at his head from the window, and it is around the child's shoulder, to feel like a scene very much. And I think so. I wanted to know any more who's really. Now irresistibly. Suddenly when was here also served the face from the window. Suddenly as the child retracted his head, looked at me. It was Campanella. Giovanni is. Campanella, when you thought I say that, had been here before. Campanella is. Everybody I was delayed. I've traveled a great deal. Zineri I also did not catch up but ran a great deal, he said. Giovanni. Yes, it is now. I went to invite together, and while I think. I said, do no matter waiting somewhere. Then Campanella is. Zineri was back already. Dad came to Mukai. Campanella. While some reason to say so. Was for that pale little face color. Somewhere painful. Then Giovanni also. Somehow somewhere. Such as that there are things you have forgotten something. I have silently to the strange feeling. However Campanella is. While looking out the window. And the other completely healthy is healed. He was vigorously said. Crapo. I've forgotten the water bottle. Sketchbook have also been forgotten. But does not matter. Because depot of Soon Swan. If see the swan. Sue was really likes. I am flying in the distant river Tay. I look I'm sure. Quote. And. Campanella is a map that looks like a round plate. Was seen by turning frequently round and round. At all. In it, white one along the represented the left of the shore of the Milky Way. A conditions of the railway line is. It did go down to the south. And respectable thing of the map. On top of the black fans is night. One by one of the depot and Sankakushiro Bay. Is spring, water and forests. And blue or orange or green. Was yes studded with beautiful light. Giovanni was thought as somehow saw the map somewhere. I am native. Obsidian of this map was bought anywhere. Giovanni said. The Galaxy station we got. Did not Murawa you? Oh, it would have through my Galaxy station. Now Toko your of us would be here. Giovanni, a sign of the depot, which is written with the swan, was pointing to the immediate north. If yes. Oh, the Kawahara's or would be a moonlit night you see over there. In pale glowing galaxy of the shore. The sky of Japanese pampas grass of silver color. The other like Ichiman. Silky smooth to the wind. Moving is shaken. It did is make a wave. Well to say that it is not a moonlit night. I am glowing because galaxy Giovanni is pleasantly much want to like bounce. Sounded diligently feet. Put a face through the window. Therefore it extends hard while whistling of higher and higher star torte. The water of the Milky Way. Tried to Miki Wamayo. Initially just it. Did not clear. But when viewed gradually careful. The clean water is clearer than the hydrogen than the glass. Sometimes of Ikagenka. Or built a minor wave of flickering purple, or glowing with Jira as rainbow while the voice also went flow steadily without. Here and both over there in the field, we triangle target of phosphorescence. Stood beautifully. Far things are small, close is large, distant thing is clear in the orange or yellow, hazy close one's pale a little, or a triangle or a quadrilateral, or electricity and chain form of at various lined up, to field full we did glowing. Giovanni, as if to pounding, was awfully shake their heads. Then really, that and the beautiful fields all over blue and orange. Various shining triangle mark also. As tendini take a breath. We are chanier shake flickering. I and the others completely came to the heaven of the field, Giovanni said. And this train, hey do not usually coal, Giovanni has said while watching me earlier from the windows. Out the left hand, would be alcohol or electricity, Campanella said. Then just a reply to it. From somewhere in the haze of the main house of the far distant, is rumbling the voice, such as the Cerro came here. Here train. He is moving because they is not moving in the steam and electric. Routinely to just moving so. If that built the rumble sound. Even though you think you're so. It sounds until now I such because it is familiar only to train to make that voice. Loose stools were also able to somewhere. I dat in the forest and the river, heard nothing downy do. Each every rumble, its small clean train, through which fluttering in Susukino style of the sky, the Milky Way, water, and in the pale glimmer of the triangle points, was the original, go running up everywhere to everywhere. Oh, is in bloom gentian flowers. Another completely hazed autumn, Campanilla has said, pointing out the window, in the short grass that became the edge of the line, such as carved even in the month feldspar. It bloomed great purple gentian flowers. Get off me, jump, taking him, or do you miss AO jumped, Giovanni told me excited about. It's no good, because gone and Nani back, Campanilla's one that does not put away or would say so. The next of gentian flowers went to glowing to the full, from the following solving, and the other from the next in. A lot of yellow bottom of the gentian flower cup with his as the frame, as in the rain, through the front of the eye. The columns of the triangular mark is burning as smoking as such. It was standing more and more glowing. 7 North Cross Interior Ocean Coast. Mamas or will forgive me. Suddenly, Campanilla is so that drastic while a little stutter, he said in coughing. Giovanni. Well, okay, my mamas. You'll come around the triangle mark of orange color that looks like that distant one no cheery. Now wasn't thinking of me. Well, I think that, silently and vaguely, and it was, I mamas, if you really become fortunately, to about anything, but, what the heck, most of the seafood that I would have mama, Campanilla is, somehow, the one to cry, as endure hard was. Your mama is not it not Nemo terrible thing, Giovanni cried surprised. Bokuwakara no, but, anyone, when you have a really good, hey most happiness. So, mamas, I forgiveness I think you'll Campanillas seemed to have decided something really. Suddenly, among the car, now suddenly white and bright. See if the other indeed. Such is the collection of dew and all the fine of the diamond and the grass. Over the river bed of glittering galaxy, the water flow without any form without voice. In the middle of the stream, stunning pale halo did look as one of the island shines of the flat top of the island. I also wake up, such is fine, standing white cross. It is the other, or should I say was cast in the frozen Arctic clouds. Have gotten a halo of gold color that skit. In quiet I did standing forever. Hallelujah, hallelujah, took place a voice from behind from before. When the Jill of you, travelers who in the car room, straight hanging a kimono of folds all, or rely on the black Bible in the chest, in combination are over the rosary of crystal, which people also humble finger, praying over there and it did have. It rises straight to both involuntarily two people. Cheek of Campanilla was visible shining beautifully like a testimony of like ripe apples. And the island and the cross went moved towards the back gradually. The other side also, pale dazed glowing smoke, sometimes, still thin, seems fluttering in the wind. And quickly the silver color as Kemu appeared to be over in breath. Also, a lot of gentian flowers. Out or hiding the grass it is to or seemed like a friendly elf fire. It is also between a little bit. Between the river and the train is blocked by Suzuki no column. Swan of the island. The 2° only. But look toward the back. Soon the other not a hoot far smaller. Picture to become will be. Also it been sounding noisy as it has finally disappeared completely. Behind the Giovanni, what was riding from time. High blame, black bearers none of the Catholic food that was as a perfectly round green eyes, staring straight to drop, is still there any words or voice, to come transmitted from over there, look like that are listening NDE can, travelers who quietly back to the seat, a new feeling also similar to the chest full of sadness to people, in a casually unlike words, I was each other and gently Dan. Of Soon Swan Depot Dane. Oh, I get to once and for all or at 11. Early, and green lights of the signal, and the vaguely white pillars. Past the outside of glanced at the window, and then pass under the lights windows before rolling iron machine was vague about. Such is the flame of sulfur. Train become more and more slowly. Soon one platform, electric lamp columns, beautifully appear regularly. It is spread is getting larger. Two people just swan of the depot. Stops we came in front of the big clock. It was the board of the crisp bottom of watches. Two of the needles of blue jacka steel was pointing to the sharp 10 o'clock one. Everyone, down to one pen, is in the passenger compartment has become deserted. Stopping 20 minutes and is written under the clock. We also do you see down, Giovanni said. Descend it. Two people. One went over, jump out the door and jumped in time to the ticket gate. However, the ticket gates, electric lamp and off bright purple, only attached one, who did not even have. Also look at everywhere. The station master and porter seems to people. Eyeshadow was also no. Two people, in front of the depot, surrounded by the ginkgo tree that looks like a crystal crafted, came out in a small square, wide road from which the width was through straight into the galaxy of blue light. People who got off earlier did not see even one person or went another to anywhere. Two people is the white road, and we will arrange the shoulder. Two people of the shadows. Just four sides of the inside of a window room too, like a shadow of the two pillars. Also of the two wheel spokes. I was coming out to be four-way. Also several presents, several this is. And soon, it came to a clean dry river bed that looked from that train. Campanillas, a pinch its clean sand, spread on the palm, while Kishikishi with a finger. Are you talking like a dream? This sand's all crystal. A small fire is burning in. Yes, while I think I would have learned such a thing. Giovanni was also vague answer. Kawahara of gravel is all clear. Certainly in the crystal and topaz. Also represents a crumpled wrinkles song. Also is Yara corundum issue a pale light, such as mist from the crest. Giovanni ran to go to the beach, was dip their hands in water, but suspicious water of the galaxy. It was not more clear than hydrogen, but that was certainly flow. Of two people of the wrist, is Toko was immersed in the water, appeared to be floating in a little mercury color. Waves Deki and Butsuka to the wrist, raised a beautiful phosphorescent, shimmering to I understand. Also it seemed a fiery, looking towards the upstream, under the cliff that fly to Suzuki no full, white rock, wasser out to like along the flat river is playground. They're in a small 5-6 people cages, seemed to either fill or dig out something. Dari crouching or standing, sometimes something of tools, was or glowing with pikatsu. Two people, let's go, is like one, screaming every time, ran towards over there. At the entrance of the place that became the White Rock, standing placards were slippery that, of crockery, Puri Ocean Coast, on the other side of the beach. Here and there, fine iron balustrade also planted, which is also visible at a clean bench of wooden or did. Oh, I have those strange campanillas. Stood still in wonder. Picked up a kind of real walnut pointed from the rock Blackie elongated earlier. It's walnut real. Sora, not you came there. Flow a lot. I'm entered in the rock. I large this walnut. I sometimes. This guy is not a little be hurt. Let's go to early fiasco. Because surely you're digging something. Two people, while having a black walnut real jagged, also went by the near towards a little while ago. The left hand of Nagisa, asked burning like lightning wave is friendly. To the right hand of the cliff, is the ear of Japanese pampas grass, such as kosi and ichiman silver and shells shook, when viewed gradually approaching, high because of one person, multiplied by the terrible near glasses. Scholar seems to the person who is wearing boots is, while memo something in notebooks Iwashi likely, or swing up the pickaxe, and soak the scoop. I was a crazy a variety of orders in the passenger it seems to people of 3 people. so as not to destroy the projections of there. The Pearl River use a scoop. A scoop. Husband. Also dug from a little far away. Do not go. Why such a violent? See if, from among its white soft rock, bone of big pale beast, taken food that collapsed lying on the side, had been dug out more than half. When the look be careful. To everywhere. Rocks with a 2 footprint of the hoof. Just 10 in the square. Cut away to clean number was yes attached. You guys I guess visitations people seems the university mechanic. I consider it as Kira, the glasses, was talking to look at here. I would have had a lot of walnut that well. Roughly 120. It's about million-year-old walnut very newer is here is 120 million years ago. Around the time of the tertiary of the rest is it a coast. This leaves even shells from the bottom. To Toko that now flow of the river. It was also or pulling yast is just like salt water. I guess this only thing. This is it to say that the boss. Come on, there. Pickaxe is Yoshi Pearl River. Carefully Pearl River me doing with chisel. I say to the boss. In the ancestor of today's cow. The old days were many. Quote. Due to sample. No. I need to prove when viewed from we. Here in the thick respectable strata. 120 million years about but before many go up evidence that was able to. From the guy that we unlike weather still look to these strata also to see. Or wind or water. I think that it might palm appear to be empty or were deserted. Found the paddle. But, come on. There also do not in the scoop. Shortly rib is buried under it is not supposed to rue. University workers went running in a hurry. It's another time. Let's go, Campanella is told while compared with the map and watch. Oh, the Watakushias will be rude. Giovanni was bowing to carefully university workers. Is that so? Well, goodbye. The university officer, also in busy, began the supervision here and there to walk around in. 2 people, the white rocks, ran so as not to late to train hard. And really, it was able to run like the wind. Need does not cut even breath did not even get hot. If Kakeru and so, when multiplied by dat another around the world, Giovanni was thought. And 2 of them, through the front of that Kawahara. Electrodeposition lights of the wicket becomes louder and louder. Soon 2 people, a person who I went now sitting on the seat of the original cabin. Watched from the window it was. People who take the 8 birds. Do you think topics may be over here? Rustling was but kind likely. Adult voice was heard at the back of 2 people. It is. Wearing a little tattered cloak of tea color. The luggage wrapped in white width. Was hung on the shoulder is divided into 2. Was the one who she bent down the back of the red beard. Yeah, I'm good. Giovanni was greeted with pursed a little shoulder. The man, a luggage while faint fine laugh in the beard was placed on a slowly net rack. Giovanni, and feel like something very lonely. Such as sad. If you have not seen the front watch in silence. In earlier Zudo now is like a glass of whistle. The train I had already moved to the quiet, Campanilla's. The ceiling of the passenger compartment was looking here and there. One of them lights on and stopped a black beetle. Weave the shadow was reflected in the large ceiling. People of red beard, while laughing at something nostalgically, was watching the state of the Giovanni and Campanilla. The train anymore is getting faster. And pampas grass in the river. Was the light from the outside of one after the other window. People of red beard as well little timidly, I heard 2 people. Few people as I come to either. How far I also go, Giovanni, I replied a little awkwardly. It sounds good. This train is, in fact, go even far. I go to where are you, Campanilla is. Suddenly, because I asked like a fight. Giovanni laughed involuntarily. Then, there was the other side of the seat, wearing a pointed hat. Some people lowered the big key to the waist. Because I laughed glanced to look at me. Campanilla also. We have started laughing and read the about face. But that person is not also occurred separately. Was the twitching while answer the cheek. Washi will get off immediately there. Washi, is it a business to catch the bird? What bird is? It's cranes and wild geese. Fraud is both swan. Crane, do you have a lot? Even you have to masa. I did not hear singing from a little while ago. No, is not that here even now? Sky, behold, listening and listened. They include the eye, we listened, and the train of sound, that sound rumble. From between the Suzuki no wind was coming here, the sound like gush of colon in water. Crane, do you take why? Crane is, or heron is? It's heron, Giovanni replied, while I think that good which even do is that person. Zosa no thing called fraud. Everyone elaborate sand of the Milky Way. It because you mon cannon boo. And I because you go back all the time to the river. And waiting in the Kawahara. Heron everyone. The leg the toko come down in the such fu. Within that person is not sukuketsuka to the ground with. Ichimao holding potato. Then another heron. Uji my dead relieved to clustered. After the other. To fully understand masa. Or barium just to. I got to the herbarium the heroner. Specimen is. It is not in the sample. Is not that everyone eat. Funny, hey, Campanella was puzzled. Funny does not have any suspicious yaw. Sky, the man stood. And down the package from the overhead rack. Was solved quickly round and round. Now, look, I just came to take now. Two people, really Hayes heron, cried involuntarily. A pure white. The body of the heron that shines like that a little while ago in the north of the crosses. 10 only. A little hirabetaku. And shrink the black legs. I was side by side like a relief. I have turned a blind eye, Campanilla is. Gently with your fingers. I touched the white, turned a blind eye crescent backlash of heron. White hair, such as the spear on the head, was also equipped with properly. Would you do so? The birds overlapping the wrapping cloth also was enclosed with a string wrapped round and round. Who Giovanni was asked while I would eat together at hereabouts. Heron Nanzo. Heron is I delicious weather. Yes, every day, there is order. However, towards the gooses, you sell more to have a good handle, much more of the wild goose. Do not, because you do not have a first labor. Sky, birds. Also another person who wrapped the was solved. Then it becomes mottled with yellow and blue white. Kali Hikaru to something of the lights of, so that, just like a little while ago of heron, align the beak, was not a little hirabetaku. Alongside, the here will be ready to eat. How about, you raised get a little, birds. The foot of the wild goose of yellow, was pulling lightly. Then it is, as can be, even in the chocolate. I left straight clean. This is how, little eat behold with birds. Was I tear it into? Giovanni, try a little to eat. What? After all this guy's candy. Than chocolate. But more delicious. Or mon are flying these geese. This guy's candy store somewhere soa of the field. But I, and the person to full while. What to eat candy of this person? Well, I think that very much feel sorry. I was still poku eat it. Issued a be a little let rising. Oh, birds are also wrapped. Although Giovanni, I wanted more to eat. Yes, thank you, if you have to refrain from saying bird. This time was out to people who have the other side of the seat. The key. No, I'm sorry, do is got a business thing. The man took the hat. No, you're welcome. It is what the economy of this year of migratory birds. No, I is mon nice. Something the second period around the time of day before yesterday. Why the lights of the lighthouse? I do to be between. Temporarily blank. In addition to the rules. Also from here from over there. But came a failure on the phone. Nani. Not we here are doing. Migratory birds is solidified to black. That the is no way because ya passed before the testimony. I section. Confounded me. Such complaints. Is how tab brought to my toko nursey. I do it to narrow Jen. Tremendously between the legs and mouth wearing a cloak be dry. But I Yari said this. Quote. In order to pampas grass is gone from the other side of the field, it came suddenly Akari shines. Why do you that labor is more of heron, Campanilla is? I was thinking from a little while ago. Trying to Kiko, it sounds, is to eat a heron. Birds. Was turned around over here. The Milky Way of water Akari. I either leave hanging also 10 days. So is such a only section. 3 in the sand. I do not do only a buried my 4 days section. Then, Mercury is everyone evaporation. So be. This guy is not a bird. Would be just a candy. After all looked was thinking the same thing. Campanilla's. So that drastic? Asked. Birds. In what Fu was very panic. Oh yeah? Here down such a only section, saying. And I think that took the luggage standing. Had become invisible again. If you have postponed, I wonder when to where 2 people face. Lighthouse Mamoru, laughing grinning, while so little growth goes up, was looking through the outside of the 2 people next to the window. 2 people also if you look at over there. Just the bird. The yellow and blue white. Put a beautiful phosphorescent. Standing on the tile Naphalium fine of each Eamon. Both hands and a serious face spread. I was staring at the sky. I went to Fiasco. Hey, a quite odd body. I'm sure also to one that does not go running is Tokodane. Trained to catch the bird. And the early bird get off a good gnaw as soon as I said that. Deserted and empty of bellflower color from heron, such as we saw earlier it is. As if snowy. Screaming Gyagya. Came cage dance in full. Then that birds. Completely and soggy so that it is as ordered. Both feet cockery 60, standing open every time. By pressing one and all with both hands the black legs come down shortens the heron. Cloth it was put in the bag. Then heron, as the firefly, sometime in the bag. But I was disappear glowing blue peka acid at last. Become everyone vaguely white. It did Suburu the eye. However, more is caught as a bird. It better of things that get off on the safely of the Milky Way Sam not caught there were many. If it has seen, feet get to the sand as soon as if solvable of snow. Made Hirabetaku shrunk, so soon as the juice of copper out of the blast furnace. Spread on top of the sand and gravel. The shape of the bird for a while. But it is attached to the sand. It is also 2, 3, while you are a darker degrees brighter. It did become the same color as the surrounding another completely. Birds. 28 just pie, and would put in a bag. Suddenly raised both hands. Soldiers carrying guns bullets. Was shaped like a time to die. And I thought, no longer the form of catching bird in there anymore. Rather, was produced. Apparently much earns enough to just fit in the body. Say that do not the voice with sounds familiar that was next to the Giovanni. The birds and see. The heron came to take in there anymore. Aligned properly. It did have restacked one by one. Why, from a scorebait, did you come at once to hear? Giovanni is, somehow, such as for granted, such as it is not natural. It questions and strange feel. Why me, I came from was trying to koyo. Whole you, which has come from Giovanni, but thought I'd immediately reply. Come on, what came from where the whole? Did not any more just Kangutsuki. Campanilla also did her trying to remember something in the face to the waiting red. Oh, from your far away, bird catching, nodded without so was found. 9 Giovanni tickets. The other hereabouts is Swan. That's a wrap of the ward look is the observatory of any famous Alberio. Outside the window, full of such as even fireworks. In the middle of the Amano River. Big black building a 4th standing building just on top of the one of the flat roof. The eye also wake up. Such as blue jewel and topaz sphere large were too clear. Was not around quietly round and round in a circle. Is carried out gradually around to the other side of yellow. Came progressing the blue small over here. Soon 2 of shame. Overlapping. To create a form of clean double-sided convex lens of green color. It also gradually, and began to bulge the middle. Finally blue one. So came completely in front of the topaz. Was able in green center and yellow. Bright ring. It is also out to more and more horizontal. repeating the shape of the front of the lens in reverse, and finally straight away. Sapphire 2 rough to the other side. The yellow proceeds to here. Also now fu just like a little while ago. Of the galaxy. It is surrounded to be no water sound without form. Really the black weather service. As they're sleeping, I was lying on the quiet. That is the instrument to measure the speed of the water. Water is also, when the birds was about to say. Next to the, will I see your ticket? 3 people of the seat. The conductor high because wearing a red hat. Told someday stood straight. Birds from each city in silence. Took out a small piece of paper. Conductor, hey look. Divert immediately I, of you is, and so on, while moving the finger. Put out hands towards Giovanni us. Now, Giovanni is in trouble. If you have not fidget, Campanella then fu that there is no divided. Issued a ticket of a small mouse color. Giovanni is gone completely panic. Even in possibly his jacket pocket. Well, I think that if it had been entered, if I tried to put a hand, was hit on something big folded as piece of paper. These kind of things are wondering what would have been said. If you have tried out in a hurry. It was a green color of the paper of large of about a postcard that was folded in 4. Conductor, do not mind anything because I'm on is taking out a hand. If you have me think she may doing. The conductor was watching carefully to open it bounced back straight. And since it had been a repair frequently jacket if a button or something lighthouse guards were. Also accepted enthusiastically from the bottom while reading. Giovanni is certainly there is a little bit so that the breast is hot and thought it was something. Or certificate I feel it was. This is 3. Did you become to have from the direction of the next space conductor I was asked. Giovanni with peace of mind that it is I do not know somehow okay laughed Shu to give a look at. Over there. Thank Yoroshu. The will take you to Southern Cross will be the 3rd at the time of the next conductor went to. The other side to pass the paper to Giovanni. Campanella was Nazakikomi in a hurry and so was long awaited whether the piece of paper was what? I wanted to see exactly early as Giovanni. But it is in the pattern such as each human black arabesque. Which was to print the funniest 10 only of character. It did feel like would be sucked in looking in silence somehow into that is. Then I said to birds rushed to see it glanced from the side. Oh, this guy is Z is mon big deal. This guy anymore. But tickets to go even to the heavenly true. Heavens where not a, anywhere is a ticket to walk for no apparent reason. Section accustomed to have a damn thing. Indeed, such a non-something completely fantastic 4th of galaxy. Come on should go even up to anywhere. You how much mon? Well the answer is red. I do not know somehow Giovanni. I put in hiding in her fold it. And because the rules are bad Campanilla and 2 people. Also but was looking out of the window. So that he sometimes much mon of the birds. Was found vaguely that the flickering looking at me. I've Sunigam Depot Campanilla is the other side. A small pale triangular mark that 3 lined up. He said then look at a map. Giovanni without knowing somehow not. Suddenly next to the birds became irresistibly a pity. Guest willing to have generated caught the heron. Or wrap round and round it with a white crisp. Or out praise in a hurry to look sideways as I was surprised the ticket of the people. And or thinking each time such a thing. The other the stranger for birds. You will do anything also to eat. Even those that have the Giovanni. If made another fortunately of this people true. The bird standing continued 100 years standing in the dry riverbed of glowing yourself that. The Milky Way and I feel like that I be doing to take. No longer it is not just another silent. In an attempt to Kiko really what exactly is your wish? So because all of a sudden so much. If you look back pretending to think what to do. There was not any more that birds. Overhead rack I did not see even white luggage on top of. Also wondering what are you Shitaku catching the heron look up at the sky and straddled the legs out of the window. But saw over there in a hurry. Outside just wave of beautiful Isago and white pampas grass of each Eamon. That wide-catching bird back did not even look also pointed hat. I would have made that person to anywhere. Campanella also had said vaguely so. I would have to go to wherever. Exactly where we'll also meet. I will just would not have said a little thing to that person. Oh, I think so also. I feel like that person is in the way. So I'm very painful. Giovanni is such a strange feeling. Really is the first time. I thought that not also be said to such a thing now. Somehow apple smell. I wonder because now I was thinking of the apple. Campanella was turning look at the per curiously. I really apple smell. Then the smell of our multiflora. Giovanni was also saw her, so I thought it was the likely coming to even from the window. Giovanni was thought and it's not supposed to be the smell of our multiflora flowers now because it is autumn. And then there suddenly, shiny six just boys of the black hair is not over even a button of red jacket Sue. With a face like was badly surprised. His rattling tremor was standing in the soup. In attitude, such as the tree of Zelkova that are blowing in the wind to fill up high because wearing neat black clothes. Young man next to? He stood firmly by the hand boy. Oh, here wears. Well, clean it wall to the back of the young man. Also alone. Tens of tea color a pretty girl of the two only of the eye. Wearing a black cloak and leaning on the arm of a young man curiously window I did looking out of. Oh, here's a Rankashaya. No. It Connecticut State. No. Oh, we've came to the sky. We're going to heaven. Look, that mark is the heavenly sign. Another it is not that nanny mo scary. Watakushi us we are called to God. The black clothes of the young man told the girl, shining joy. But for some reason also carved deep wrinkles on the forehead. It seems are very tired. We sit down a boy next to Giovanni while forced to laugh. Then I pointed to the seat next to the gently Campanella to the girl. Girl is sitting to there obediently. It was a combination of a properly both hands. Boy of just sitting, my. Oh yo I'm going to Toko of sister, he told the young man that was just sitting on the other side of the seat of the lighthouse keeper in the strange face. Youth is downright to the sad face not be said. Of staring the child. I saw a wet head was curled. Girls. I have cried griping devoted to suddenly face both hands. Dad and Kakuya sister is still there are many you work. But you come later, soon. Than that. Mama would arc newsletter. No matter how waiting a long time. My important Tadashi is singing what song now would. By connecting everyone in hand in the morning snowy. Or considered to wonder or playing around the round and round of elder bushes. Because you started to worry about waiting really. Go early. Let's see you in Mama Yeah, but I was in only section good ride on the ship. Yeah, but, behold, the sky, is what? That fine river. A scorbate is that summer throughout. Suinkuru. Little, when the rest singing star, would have always looked vaguely white from the window. Scorbate. Would be beautiful. You have Anani shining. Looked out I wiped the eye with crying they were older sister also Hangechi. The young man was also said to gently siblings to teach. We and the other. You never nanny mo sad. We have traveled this kind of good points. Go to the magnetic god of Toko. There if the other. Full of fine people well is really bright and smell it is. And people who ride us to the boat instead of. I'm sure everyone helped. You go Yara to the respective father and mother and his home waiting worried. Now, a healthy because it is soon out let's sing interesting and the young man stroked the black hair. Such is wet boy. While comfort everyone. Myself has been shining gradually face color. Do you have Irasha from either? How did you nasu? A little while ago of the lighthouse keeper was finally asked a youth as it was found a little. The young man was a faint laugh. No, I have sank the ship Butsuka, the iceberg. We are 2 months ago in the use here of the father is steep. Became so your way to the pair earlier to the home country. We have passed later. I have entered into the university. I had been hired to tutor. But just 12 days. Yesterday around if today, the ship was sinking. Another told Adapen in Botsuka, the iceberg. May although the lights had blurred somewhere. Fog was very deep. However, the boat towards the port, because half had become to no good. So everyone is not survive. Even the ship sank to the other within the U2. I become desperate. I cried and please put the weather small people close to the people to open the immediately road, and told me to pray for the children. But the boat from there or in place of still to have small children and parents or something. I did not have very displays courage. Even children, at all. Watakushi has absolutely to your help this man who in front because I thought that it was my duty. The Tridoshinokyo. But also, then I'll help so much better to go with everyone inside of the remains God. I thought even really that it is happiness of the people who then also sin rebellious to its God Watakushi. I thought that I'll by all means help. I probably alone. However, it did not can do it and have seen absolutely doing talking Totomura into just the boat. Dad mom sends a kiss like crazy such as standing for the quietly endure with straight sad. It seemed very any more intestine also torn off. It since Kai ship will sink another Zunzan. We solidified, and prepared for another completely. Hugging the people, the two of us are just have been waiting for the sinking of a ship trying to Ukabo. Who through float Raifu view I but I have to go to one flying came I was but not have slipped hood over. There, I will release the toko became lattice of the deck at the hard. Was firmly trimmed at 3 people. 3 out of nowhere ling voice of a 6 number went up. Soon everyone was singing it to one pen in a variety of languages. At that time and suddenly a big sound we fell into the water. Tightly while I think I went into another swirl this person and I us. And then I had come dazed the solving another here this towards our mother one. Was not last year Botsuku yeah? The boat will surely survive there is no difference in the other. Any rate is compelling skill of sailors rowing. Because I stayed away quickly from the ship. Quote. Giovanni heard the voice of a small sigh in prayer from everywhere also Campanilla I even remembered vaguely that a variety that has been forgotten until now became hot. Oh, the big sea Wetaro not then that the Pacific. In the sea of the ends of the north of the flow of the iceberg. Riding in a small boat. And the wind and freezing Shimizu. Fighting the intense cold. Someone a lifetime it is subject working. I feel like I'm sorry and really sorry to the person is. I wonder how do I make earth for fortunately of the person. Giovanni is leaning against the neck. We will in completely Fusagdakon. I do not know what is happiness. Really if events in that with any hard that it proceed the right way. Because you one by one foot to pass the upstream nor down approaches to well-being of everyone true. Lighthouse Mamoru was comfort. Oh yes, but as everyone oboshi meshi also a variety of sadness in order to lead to the most fortunately. Young man replied so to pray. In that siblings had asleep leaning on the other stick is in every man limp seat. The earlier of the foot was that barefoot I was wearing a white soft shoes someday. Every rumble train went the river banks of the glittering phosphorescence. Looking at the window in the direction of the other side. Field was like a phantom lamp. Both large and small variety of triangular targets 1100. Also visible surveying flag that struck the red dot on top of the big ones. The ends of the field there each eman. As pale mist and looming gathered a lot. Or from there. Or from more beyond. Like a signal fire that was sometimes absent-minded of various forms. It was to be launched into an empty one after the other beautiful bellflower color. Indeed its crystal clear clean wind was filled with roses smell. How is it? This kind of apple is your first time. Would it had faced on the knee with both hands not to drop the big apple lighthouse keeper the other side of the seat is decorated beautifully at some gold and red. Oh, did you come Dakara? It is admirable hey. Hereabouts in the as whether it is such apple, seemed I was surprised really young man. The apple of one forest that has been faced in the hands of the lighthouse keeper. The eye Weller, bending the thinner neck, had looked beside himself. No, please decoy well. Please do decoy well. Young man saw a little towards the Giovanni's to take one. Now, the other side of the Bachangata. Would you like? Please decoy. Since Giovanni was said to be the son, but was silent a little, Shikunisawa Campanilla's. I said, thank you. Then, because the young man was Taurus, send it to 2 people one by one to take on their own. Giovanni also standing. We say thank you. Since the lighthouse keeper was love at last, both arms, this time, was placed gently on the knee of siblings that are asleep one by one on their own. Thank you very much. Where do I can? Such a fine apple. Young man told me while watching keenly. We become promises. Such as it is those most by itself good, but of course agriculture we are in this neighborhood. Agriculture that's so much bone as I do not. You usually can rapidly by itself if defeated, even seeds desired by myself. Rice because neither shell as Pacific side 10. I double also good even larger smell, but if people come ye agriculture is no longer dat candy. Dat apples. Because the cake does not have any. The guys that person was unlike by the people. I would only flickering from hair hole is just a kaori. Suddenly boy is told to pat me the eye. I had been dreaming of. Oh my now mom. Mom I have had a toko with a fine cupboard and books. I was smiling, laughing, dabbled, looking towards me. I, picking up mama, apple or I'll come. With the eye when saying it had cool. A cocoa. Dane among the earlier of the train. Quote, there's the apple in there. I submitted on this uncle, young man said. Thank you uncle. Oh. Kaoru sister hey are sleeping still. I'll wake me. Sister. Look. I got an apple. Put C in. My sister cooled the eye laughing, devoted to the eye both hands to glare likely, then I saw an apple. Boys like to eat the pie. I had already ate it. Also, the beautiful skin that peeled much trouble also. Was round and round to become shaped like a corkscrew to sew between up to fall to the floor. Resulting in evaporation glowing ash color. I was away in the pocket of the apple cherish. I see a blue lush large forest in the downstream of the other side. Full of round fruit that shines waiting red ripe in its branches. Standing middle to high triangle target of the forest. From the forest to the orchestra bells and Jorophon beautiful sound color not indescribably a mix. Did come flowing as the wind a try immersion as melts. The young man was to wield the body as Zoku, and silently listening to the score, and each human yellow or so, thin or green bright field or rug is spread. Also Russia, such as the pure white wax seemed to go grazing the surface of the sun. Well, that crow, next to Campanella, the girl that was called Kaoru shouted. Not a crow. Everybody is magpie because Campanella is also cried as casually scold. Giovanni also laughed involuntarily. The girl has to awkwardly. On top of all pale of Kawahara lights. We did have quietly received the low light of the river perched become a column to fill a lot of blackbirds a lot. Hey is a magpie. Because we extend hair cha to toko of the back of the head. The young man told me to intercede. Triangle mark in the across the blue forest came to completely train the front. From that time towards the back hoot not of the train. Fushi of hymns of 306 number that was accustomed to hear that it has been heard. We did seem to chorus in a compelling number of people. Youth is pale as quickly face color. But was likely to go to over there one pen standing was sat down again to think back. Kaoruko was totally devoted to face the hankechi. Somehow knows until Giovanni is now strange. But whom the song is issued singing became more and more clearly stronger without the time. It involuntarily Giovanni also Campanilla also began singing together. And Blue Olivine of the forest will be gradually carried out towards the back with Lida and Sorofli on the other side of the Milky Way that cannot be seen. Even the sound of dubious musical instrument that flows from it not have been abraded to another train of sound, and the sound of the wind hooted became faint. Oh, I have a peacock. Oh, there a peacock. That forest. Would Koto, and I'm sure I think Irash Aru by people of old big orchestra in that forest is gathered. I think a lot of blue peacock or something is around. Yeah, I had a lot, the girl replied. Giovanni saw the reflection of the light, or closed or spread. The peacock is splashed glowing, sometimes pale and sassa, on top of the forest. Now is the small that looks like another one. Of the green color of the shell buttons it was. Yes, I heard a little while ago dat peacock, a voice Campanilla was told the girl. Yes, 30, about pi is certainly Itawa, the girl replied. Giovanni does not seem to feel suddenly sad, not say anything. Campanilla, let's go playing with cage bounce from here, was trying to say with a scary face with. But at that time Giovanni saw something strange towards the far downstream. It is certainly one elongated, was something black smooth, proceed to the form, such as a little bow jumps out on the water of that invisible Milky Way. Also seemed hidden in the water. If you wore also well, mind thought it strange. It did seem there was that. Now it is also such a much closer among them, even here anymore. Even over there. What is strange that the black slick is jumping out from the water. For it passes through from round flying also head to the water. We have seen a lot. It did seem climb to Kawakami as everyone fish. Well, would be what? Taha-chan, look, aisles well a lot. What's there? Nemu boy had been rubbing the eye, likely was rising as I was surprised. Was rising also, I wonder what youth. Well, I'm a strange fish, it would be what if. It's dolphin, Campanilla was answered while watching over there. Nanny's dolphin, I am the first time. But would not in here see. Dolphin has not been determined and are in the sea. It lent that strange low voices also from where. Really funny thing is in the form of the dolphin. Of immobility and lowered just hands, the two fins attitude in the foo. Such as took to come jumping out of the water. Reverently head of immobility of attitude down, it was going to pass under into the Mamamata water. At that time also water of the Milky Way that is not visible. It did increase the wave as to wobbling blue flame. Are you official? We do. The girl was talking to Campanilla. The boy was asleep leaning against the seat as tired limp. Dolphin, does not it as fish? It is the same kind of beast and whales. Campanilla was the answer. If there ever seen you whale, there I am. Whale, you will see only the head and black tail. Blows the tide will be just as in the book. Whale if oki iwane. Whale is big. They're about whether they're whatever. Kids. I do so. I saw in me Arabian Nights. My sister had been interesting to talk while messing around a ring of thin silver color. Campanella, gonna be done me anymore. Not that I saw something dat whale. While Giovanni is frustrated about dying like, but still firm, was looking out of the window holding back biting lips. The form of a dolphin is outside of the window even when not see. The other river was divided into two. It has been organized one high tower in the middle of the pitch-black island. A man wearing a red hat on the wearing one of Hiroshi clothes that stood. And it did have signal look up at the sky with a flag of red and blue in both hands. That person while Giovanni is looking had shook frequently red flag, but suddenly so as to hide behind and down the red flag. Shook violently like orchestra conductor with higher and higher up the blue flag. Then, with the sound, such as a sea Jack Robinson rain in the air. What is dark something? Even mass to go also go mass was to go flying toward the other side of the river as gun round. Giovanni is involuntarily put out half of the body from the window. I looked up at the over there. The sky under which was deserted of beautiful bellflower color. Small birds is that indeed tens of thousands. It did also several sets go through singing several set also provides the naming bustling. Giovanni, do not go flying bird, was said in the outside of the window. Dora Campanella also looked at the sky. At that time loose clothes of the man on the of that tower was shaken as madness by increasing the suddenly red flag. Then potato flock of birds is no longer passed through. The same sound, such as a collapse that at the same time pishy yan going on in the way of downstream. And then was made you doing for a while. If you think he signaled the hands of that red hat, it was also shouting and waving the blue flag. His voice was also heard clearly. Now is the time, do not cross Watari bird. Now is the time, do not cross Watari bird. At the same also together flock of birds that tens of thousands are multiplied by the sky straight. That girl from the window in the middle that has issued two people of the face was looking up at the sky while shining a beautiful cheek out the face. Well, this bird, hey, it is a lot rough, well clean it of empty girls Giovanni cheeky, but I spoke to Giovanni. Yea, well I think that I had looked up at the sky by connecting the mouth in silence. It was girls in a small hot breath. Went back to the seat in silence. Campanella had a look at the map to retract the face from the sorry likely to window. Will you teach to that person bird? Girl was asked gently. Campanella. I have been a signal to Watari bird. Will order to go up the signal fire or I'm sure from where. Campanilla was the answer, a little obo sukana likely. And now Shino is in the car. Since Giovanni is the Kawadasu to the other head, the retracted one, it was for you, but bright Toko was painful. It was blowing the whistle to stand as it is endure in silence. Would why I'm so sad. I do not have to have more of a mood to clean large. Tomorrow small blue fire, such as if the smoke to hoot beyond not of this shore is visible. There is really quiet cold. I'm calm the mood a good look at any. Giovanni so as to suppress the painful head with both hands from heat. I saw a person of over there. Oh really, how far would not people go together and I both up somewhere? It add an Anna girl and interesting to Dan and Campanilla. I really nay hard. Giovanni of the eye is also made full in tears. Milky Way also could only look blankly white as was done like to far away. At that time train was now passing through the top of the cliff gradually away from the river. In accordance with the other side is also a black color cliff down the banks of the river. Downstream, it was going to become increasingly high, and I glanced a large corn of the tree. The leaves was the large bracts of another beautiful green color under the leaves curled the round. Look glanced to be real, such as the pearl vomiting red hair. It's been gradually increasing the number. The other now arranged in between the cliffs and the line like a column. When I saw the other side of the window retracted the face from involuntarily Giovanni windows. The horizon of the beautiful sky of the field of to the ends. That if a large planet in the most corn of tree each eman. Fluctuations in say a wind, from the tip of its fine curled leaves. Do like a diamond that smoked a lot of sunlight during the day like but for the full. It was the glowing burning red, green and sparkling. Campanilla's, though told Giovanni as any corndane remain. Giovanni was just because the feeling was not repaired. Look at the field just bluntly. I answered, would be so. At that time train is gradually become quiet. Only the light of some of the signal and tentetsu device was stopped in a small depot. The front of the pale clock cockery shows a second time. The wind is also no train also ugo kazu. The pendulum some of quiet field was going ticking properly in Kichikachi. In that the constant sound of the pendulum from the ends of the distant field of distant faint melody was coming to flow as a thread at all. Sister of the New World, I'm Symphony. The other side of the seat was said softly while looking at me like a monologue. At all in the other car it was to have seen everyone friendly dreamed nobody length high youth of that black clothing. Such a quiet good points I would why not become more pleasantly. Why wonder so alone lonely. But Campanella something so much terrible. While riding a train together and I and Dan just as though Anna girl I thing. I really painful. Giovanni also was staring out the other side of the window so as to hide half his face with hands. Whistle sounding train. such as a glass of crystal clear is start moving quietly. It blew the whistle of Campanilla, also sad to start tour. Yeah, because the other around here is terrible plateau of likely someone elderly people in the way of the back. It was the voice that is lucidly Dan and Fu that now woke up. I do not be as that it is not sewn to it in advance to open a 2 feet even holes with a stick. Dat corn. Really. Abuses there's you cane is to the river. Yeah, until the river is 2,000, 6,000 from long. There along are you made to the other like a terrible canyon. What would not have s early here Colorado Plateau? Giovanni was thought involuntarily so. To that sister Wasser in pondering throwing a brother to his dark eyes while Nomura by less entranced to the chest far without also looking at what? Campanilla is still sad to blow the alone whistle. The boy was looking toward the direction to see the Giovanni and the like face color, such as apples wrapped in silk. I hear a K to fill up giant out of black field suddenly run out of corn. The New World Symphony is more and more clearly springing from the ends of the horizon. The inky one of the Indians, the among the field attached to the head and wings of white birds. Decoration a lot of stone in the arm and chest. And Suge an arrow to a small boichi. It was coming followed the train to Makusan. Oh, it is the Indians, Indians. One customers behold. Black clothes of youth was also cooled the eye. Giovanni and Campanilla were also rising. I ran the first come. Oh, I come running. Willem chasing. No, I'm in or I'm not. You are chasing the train. Dancer the hunting. Young man told me while standing with your hands in your pocket Fu that have forgotten where you are now. All Indians seemed half as dancing. First applied to also Fumiso feet was the likely become even more economy also take seriously. Suddenly crisp white its wings look like fall towards the front. The Indians or potato stopped. Drew a quick bow to the sky. One from there, and feathers of crane came down unsteadily. Also fell to the large sprayed the hands of the Indians, which began to run. Indians laughed standing happily, and shadow looking at me with the crane also. The other smaller and smaller become distant. Insulator of electricity Shinbashi et al. Glowing only to followed the Karakira. Also has become the corn of the forest. This side is when the train look at the window of not running over a really high cliff. A river was flowing still with widely bright in the bottom of the valley. Yes, is down from the other around here. Prepared to deal now does not it as easy because I'm going down to that surface of the water at one pen train because I'm on this inclination. There is never do not come from the other side over here. Sky, and the other gradually would have become quickly, seems a little while ago of an old man voicey said. More and more it went rapidly train down. When the railway take to the cliff of Haji I was Nazo under bright river. Giovanni has been gradually mood is bright. Train and is through the front of a small hut. I do not think such as when you are looking at me standing children of frowning alone in the front. Law, and cried. More and more I went rapidly train ran. People in the room had clung tightly to the seat while now fall towards the back half. Giovanni was involuntarily laughing. Campanilla. Seems came another and Milky Way flows abuses vigorously train immediately Yokote until now. Wasser flowing sometimes flickering glowing. Mortar Akai Kawahara Nadashiko flower bloomed here and there. The train was running slowly. As finally settled down. Beyond the flag wrote the foreman pickaxe of the star over here of the shore stood. I said what I was doing, that I would be what the flag. Giovanni. Come on, hey do not know, what I do not even on the map. I iron boat is put. Ah, would not it Toko build a bridge, the girls said. Oh, hey's flag of any engineer. I'm across linking exercises. But I cannot see the form of a soldier. At that time, in a little towards the downstream of the other side near the water of the Milky Way. Invisible it is glowing with Jira. Jumping as high as the pillar. Weird violent sound. I'm blasting. Campanella has dancing for joy. The water came to the pillar is no longer visible. Large salmon and trout felt also water drawing around wheel thrown in the air flashing white. Belly and Karakira. Giovanni was said, feeling lighter much one another bounce. It's empty engineer battalion. You see. Hey, something was splashed with like become so trout. Not that I was in such a pleasant journey. Eating. Hey, there is this much when you see in the vicinity of that trout. Do I have fish a lot? In this water? Girl, would you have even a small fish was said to be incorporated fishing in Dan. Would you have? Because big will you also have the small do because there are? But it is far away. Small to appear did not hey now, Giovanni replied to the girl laughing any more completely mood. Healed and interesting. Is Sherlam your star clients of the Shrine of the Twins? Boy cried suddenly pointing out the window. Two of the shrine. Such as Kosi even in a small crystal on top of the right-hand side of the low hill stood side by side. Challenge me twins of your star clients of the shrine. I heard before I loose stools from the mother. Properly but surely likely because in two lined up in the shrine of the small crystal. The I talk to see. All the stars of the twins has done. I also know to come. All the stars of the twins out to play the field. It would do was fight with Crow. It's not it? You know, I to the Milky Way of the shore. I was Nasu, Mama story. Then I comet came and said, Gigi fu. I hate Taha-chan, I'll not. It's more of another. Then now I wonder if is blowing the whistle to a scorebait. Raa go now to the sea. I'll not go. Did the ARC newsletter, up from the other sea. Oh yeah? I know Raa, trying to me talk. The other side of the river is now suddenly red. Young of the trees and something also Dessa watermark in black. Even the waves of the Milky Way that cannot be seen. Was light red sometimes flickering like a needle. Large waiting red fire is deaf to the field of all the other side. It was the black smoke is also likely burned a cold likely to heaven is high bellflower color. Sukatori red than ruby, so drunk beautifully than lithium, was of the fire is burning. It would be what the fire. Anna glowing red fire will you be able to be what the burn, Giovanni said. Scorpion of Dew's fire, Campanilla was also answered with maps and Kabipiki. Oh, I know I plenty of scorpion of fire. Challenge I scorpion of fire, Giovanni was asked. Gonna dead scorpion is burnt. The fire me is burning still, heard from me dad anything downy do. I scorpion, would be insect. Yeah, scorpion am insect, but a good insects. It not a scorpion good insects. Teacher I die and I saw the air immersed in alcohol at the museum. Such a key to fishes Jianing there had to say. I do, but I'm a good insect. I did you say dad said. Found in the field of Bardola of the old me I was living to eat and kill small insects and softened. There are scorpion one peaky. Then one day in the weasel. I scorpion ran away so hard I'm now eaten likely tay. It became finally likely to be pressed by the weasel. Fell into it at that time if there is a well before suddenly. Is not go up any more anyway. Gonna scorpions began drowning. At that time of that scorpion was prey saying, oh, I have up to now. Do not know what took the life of a number of things. And that when I was about to be taken in this time Itachi ran away and Nani hard. Still I had finally become so. Oh Nanimo unreliable. Why I my body. I would not have done to me in our stomach silence. And then Weasel also ni would have survived the day. Whether God, please refer to my heart, not discarded their lives so vain. Whether in the next, please use my body for everyone of seafood Makoto. Because was saying, and then I scorpion has a body of their own someday. Burning become a waiting red a beautiful fire. Saw the light the darkness of the night. I said Dada is burning still. Really that fire. But it? Yes. Look at the Pearl River. Triangle target of everywhere in just lined up in the scorpion form. Giovanni at all three of the triangle mark on the other side of the large fire. Just like the scorpion of arms. Here in the triangle target of 5 I saw a arranged like a scorpion tail and key. And it is really the waiting red, a beautiful scorpion of fire was burning sound without bright. As the fire is towards more and more behind. Everyone say downright not lively. Like a variety of ease of sound and flowers smell. I heard the Yara voice say noisy whistling and people. It is if there is something or town to soon close. It did feel like that there is also a festival. Centaur sends down dew. Suddenly the boy next to Giovanni had been asleep until now had cried. While looking at the other side of the window. Oh, there is standing as deep blue tang cypress or fir tree as Christmas Torii. A lot of beans electric lamp of a lot and it was about as gathered in like 1,000 fireflies. Well, okay, that's tonight's Centaur Festival. Oh, here, S.A. Village of Centaur, Campanilla was soon to say. Canoid up, no original. If you throw the ball not remove me never. Boy said in large urine. It's soon Southern Cross. Please refer to the get off Shitaku, young man is told to everyone. I'm riding on a little train also, the boy said. Girl next to Campanilla was a state that does not want to be young and still Giovannius but began. Fidgeting standing Shitaku. Here in the cage such a only I do not section, young man told me while looking down the boy's signed a snug mouth. No die. I can die from riding to me a little bit more train. Giovanni was said, I cannot endure. Let's ride together with us. I have tickets to go dad as far. But I who, gonna do only sections such get off another here. Send some toko to go to here heavens. Girl told the lonely. Is not it nice tat not go softening to the heavens. We I here do such a only section kosia better toko than the heavens I said is my teacher. I mean would a mother also rash ro go, it of God as you say God. God chapter of such a God a lie. God of your God lies. That's not it. What God is it your God? The young man told me with a laugh. I really do not know well. But without that su, is only one of God's true. God's truth of course, is only one person. Oh, without and so I, is God's true of only one person. So is not that so? Watakushi in front of God of the true in now is you. I hope to become a meet Watakushi as with your young man has said a humble both hands. Girl was also just in the street. The guy's really goodbye with regret likely. Looked a little pale also the face color. Giovanni tried to so cry raised a dangerous voice. Now do you say one anymore too? Soon from Southern Cross. Oh I did at that time. And blue or orange to hoot downstream without the Milky Way invisible. Cross-studded with the other all light. Shining standing from the river to food that like a tree. In the ring pale clouds round as on it was the suffering as halo as. It is in the train was like a noisy. I started to pray standing straight as if every one of that North Cross. Over there to be joy in the voice. Such as when the children here also jumped at the melon. I heard only the sound of anything unspeakable, no deep humble sigh. And gradually the cross will be in front of the window. Pale ring of clouds, such as the meat of that apples, that are slowly gently seemed. Hallelujah, hallelujah, bright and fun as everyone's voice Hibiki. Everyone is far from the sky. From a distance of cold sky, I heard the voice of the crisp rapper not say anything was clear. And a lot of the train among the lights of the signal and electric light becomes more and more moderate, was stopped completely to go to finally just or opposite of the cross. Now, I'm going down. The young man older sister play the hand of the boy began to gradually walk towards the other side of the exit doing it fix the collar and shoulders with each other. Well goodbye, the girl told the two people looking back. Goodbye, Giovanni told bluntly as angry and the want like to cry out. Girls by increasing the truly bitterness likely to I. Even one of looking back at me. After then was totally went out any more silence. As suddenly deserted will empty also the other half more than in the train. Was blown into lonely become the wind is full. And look at that and everyone formed a humble column. Was kneeling on the beach in front of the Milky Way of that cross. and across the water of the invisible Milky Way. A man of divine white creatures saw two people to come over here to extend the hand. But at that time the other whistle of the glasses sounded as train began to move. The fog of the silver color is from the direction of the downstream. What you think? Come float a Sue. It was no longer visible in the other over there. Nothing. Just standing in the fog, a lot of walnut trees as Hikarashi leaves the sun. Was the only electrical squirrel with a golden halo as except flickering a cute face from among them. At that time, it was a take swollen Sue to fog. There was as attached to a row of small electric lamp-ish highway to go to somewhere. It was not proceeding along the line for a while. And when two people go through in front of the testimony, the Pokato disappears so that even a small fire of bean color is just a greeting. It was also catch the when two people go past. When the Jilla view, a little while ago of the cross becomes quite small, really made the other as it is likely to be suspended in the chest. Whether the earlier of girls and young people is still kneeling in the front of the white beach, or somewhere went to the heavens that does not know the direction, I could not tell you blankly. Giovanni, oh, and was deep breath. Campanella. Also hey became divertus two people. How far will also go together even anywhere. I and the other. As that scorpions. Maybe really yea something 100 pen my body if for everyone's happiness. Beautiful tears were floating in the I dad likely eye of Campanella. But fortunately true of it hell. Giovanni said. I do not know, Campanella has said vaguely. Hey, let's do our firm. Giovanni is as chest full new force frame, he said while the breath flew. Oh, I'm a scorable coal bag. It's an empty hole. Campanella was pointed to the Hidoroko of the Milky Way. While is little a void over there. Giovanni saw over there. I have like a giku. Large dark hole in one toko of the Milky Way. Are you love with the add-on? If the bottom is how deep? The one back there is what is in. Nanimo not see even except rub matter how much I. Just the eye was the aching to sound of heavy snowfall. Giovanni said. Afraid dead and my other and a large dark. I'm sure going to look for fortunately everyone's true. Where to let us also go to us together even where. I go I'm sure oh, this field is what a beautiful. Everyone have gathered. Fiasco as the heavenly true tomorrow. Oh, are you in Asco's my mom? Campanella was suddenly cried pointing to the beautiful field that looks to the distant window. Although Giovanni also saw over there. Only there are vaguely white Kemu. Did not seem just as Campanella said. Downright to feel only as not say. If you have not idly look at over there. Two of the telegraph pole to the other side of the river bank. Stood just been chosen red bracket so that his arms folded from both. Campanella. Go to us together. If you looking back while Giovanni has this to say. To the seat that had been sitting of Campanella to the now. Was another form of Campanella is not seen. Just black velvet just glowing. Giovanni was the rise in like a gun round. And embarked the body out of the window so as not to hear anyone. Cry struck with all his strength vigorous chest. Then began to cry any more throat full. I think that the other or so has become pitch black on one pen. Then, it was heard off into the you are crying what exactly? Hey look at me, now. Voice like that friendly Saro. Was heard from the back of the Giovanni. Giovanni. Was turned around the over there pay the tears a startled. Adults within pale face wearing a big black hat on the seat that had been sitting with Campanella until a little while ago. A big laughing gently, now have Saku of this did. Will you have friends went to somewhere? On a Hito guess. He went really tonight to far away. You're no use looking for another Campanella. Oh, you know why. I'm told to go straight together in Campanella. Well, okay, everybody thinks so. But I cannot go together. And everyone's Campanella. Any people who you will meet. But everyone was riding on what base you also train or eat an apple together with you. So I thought, as you thought a little while ago. looking for the most of the well-being of all people. I but go there early and together and guys. Where only will you really go Campanilla and forever together. Quote, oh, I will surely do so. I would, why should I seek it? Are asking for it? Oh well, Watakushi. You are in advance with firm thy ticket. And do not section cry to study at a shin. Know that you are would have learned the chemical. Water is made from oxygen and hydrogen and that. Now is not palmed out it at anyone. Because I'm really going and try to experiment. But or say that the old days are made of it and mercury and salt. Variety or say that made of mercury and sulfur are discussed. Toke everyone is God naming their own would say that it is God's true. But also that you have of people who believe the other of God each other will tears spilling. Then bad Toka is good our mind it will be discussed. The game would not stick. However, a properly thought of the real in the experiment you really studied it if once you separate the idea of a lie, if chimera even the method of the experiment. The other faith is also in the same way as the chemical. But, a little look at this book. Mind you, this is a geography and history of the dictionary. The page I of this book are written by geography and history of BC 2200 years. Well, you can see. I not be BC 2200 years. Everyone thought the time of BC 2200 years those that have had geography and history is written. So this page is I hit the book of Saku Earth history. Mind you, and it's mostly true by the time BC 2200 years. Which is written in this. Find an evidence or also out thrilled. But I see it is out thinking this way the kana if a little. Sky, it's the next page. BC 1000 years. Rather, geography also history also would have changed. It in senses at this time. Do not a funny face. We're dat idea dat our body. Dat history dat train dat Milky Way. Just because I'm such or feeling so. The sky look, seemed to quiet a little mood along with me. You see, the person was down to quietly raise one finger. Then suddenly Giovanni thing that he is. As the idea of myself. And the train and the scholars and the Milky Way. Everyone Pokato glowing together. Gone Shinto. And also no longer have to Pokato. And one that one and although Pokato lit. Hirake all the wide world is deserted. All history is equipped with. And straight disappear. Was already deserted. Just saw from falling back to the other at once and for all. Gradually and it is earlier. Now soon completely as the original. Or, come say, so you experiment. This patchy due to be like over all the end from the beginning of thought. That's the thing difficult. But, of course, I wish only. Even at that time. Oh look, Purashiosu to a scorball can be seen. You must solve the chain of that Purashiosu. At that time the pale smoke signals from across the dark horizon. Was launched as if it were daytime. Now completely bright in the train. And signal fire was kept light suffering from a high in the sky. It's a nebula of Magellan. Come on the other I'm sure I'm in for me. For my mom. For Campanilla. For everyone. Look for the happiness of the real true. Giovanni biting lips. It stood to face the nebula of the Magellan. The most happy for the people. Now. It is allowed to firmly have a ticket. You should not must go straight walk to stride through the world of fire and violent wave of real. Pair in the railway of another dream. Only one among the Milky Way one of. Should not be lost never you are the ticket of the real. Giovanni and I think that voice like that Sero did was. Saw that the Milky Way is his blow the wind is already like a far far away standing straight in the hills of grass. Also your feet that Barukaniro PhD from far away I asked to come closer to the quiet of the. Thank you. I have a very good experiment. I have for such a quiet place my thought from afar and thought while ago and want to experiment to. Tell people. Word everyone my notebook that you said. Come good night back home. You are but advances straight as was decided in a dream good. Then let come on now consult anything to it anytime my Toko. Go I surely straight. I'm sure you look for the happiness of the real, Giovanni told powerfully. Goodbye, you know. This is a while ago of the ticket. Doctor put the green color of the paper folded small to Giovanni of pocket, and it had already made its form as not seen in the other side of the pillars of the weather wheel. Giovanni was down the hill and ran straight, and pocket was noticed to become very heavy. If you take a look at it perched in the forest, large too in a suspicious heaven tickets as seen in a dream a little while ago of that green, gold pieces were wrapped. Thank you doctor, mama. We will have an immediate milk. Giovanni ran screaming. What many of those was the new kind of feel like sad not say downright gathered to Giovanni of the chest at a pen. Kodo Star had stretched a foot as of an also dream moved towards the Zudo west. Giovanni was to open the eye. It did was sleeping and stuck in the grass of the original hill. Chestnuts are somehow funny. Is on the cheek was flowing his cold tears. Giovanni got up bouncing like a spring. Town had spelled a lot of light under the completely while ago of the street. But it was food that the light was somehow heated then a little while ago. And right now it takes vaguely white in the Milky Way is also still a little while ago the street was walking in a dream. So was particularly Camus is on top of the black south of the horizon. Sparkle beautiful red star of Scorpio is in the right. The sky position of the whole seemed not even so much changed. Giovanni was down ran the hills gone. It is still the thing mom waiting not eat the yuga hand has been recalled to fill the chest through the inside of more and more of the black pine forest. Then and around the white ranch fence of hoe. It came also to the front of the dark barn from a little while ago of the entrance. There seems someone is home now. One of the car was put to ride to 2 barrels of something was not a little while ago. Tonight, Giovanni cried. People wearing the white thick pants stood coming out soon. What of misuse? Today, but milk I did not come to the place of me. Oh, was not finished. That person while passing immediately went to the back and come with a single milk bottle to Giovanni. He said again, I could not finished really. Today afternoon, because Imon had opened the fence of Confucius accidentally. I will drink only half went to the place of Jen. Immediately Shinushi, the man I laughed. Really? In God we will. Yes, we did sorry very much. No. Giovanni was out of the fence of the ranch have to wrap still a hot bottle of milk in both the palm of your hand. Big bridge on the road and go to through also out to the main street for a while town while a tree is to cross. The people of the right hand took to the river went to shed the light of earlier campanilla is on the edge of the street tower of stood idly on the night of the sky. But we women in front of the town Kudoi shop became the cross 70. It has been something whispers Dan while looking toward the gathered bridge by about 8 people. Then a variety of lights also on the bridge was full from. Giovanni was thought his breast has become cold and somehow come on innovation. And to suddenly close to the people. I asked to shout I was there or something. When you say that children do as I fell into the water, one person. The person who saw the person of Giovanni all at once. Giovanni ran toward the bridge they were crazy. On top of the bridge river did not look full of in-person. Constable dressed in white clothes had come out. Giovanni got off to a wide dry riverbed beneath to fly from the foot of the bridge. A carry of a lot along the water's edge of the dry riverbed had been or down or up bustling. Fire to the other side of the dark bank had moved 7-8. It's not even the lights of the other Karasu or the middle river. Was the slightly built a sound was flowing quietly in gray. Collection of people in the place where most came out so a vox elect to downstream in the direction of Kawahara stood crisp black. Giovanni was rapidly running to over there. Then Giovanni met and Maruso was suddenly a little while ago together with Campanilla. Maruso was said. He ran to Giovanni. Giovanni, Campanilla was entered into the river. Why, when? It is Zineri. I'll push from the top of the boat towards that flows through the lights of Crowery of the water. At that time would have elaborate because Mon boat was swaying to the water. Then Campanella as I do I immediately jumped, and Zaneri was Taurus and pressed toward the boat. Zanerim was caught in Cato, but after Campanella cannot see. Quote, I will am looking for everyone. Oh, immediately came everyone. Campanella father also came. I do not find yet. Zaneri went been brought to the inner. Giovanni went towards over the whore of everyone. I stared, have a clock in the left hand standing straight. Campanella dad was the students and pale. Pointed chin is surrounded by people of the town. There is dressed in black. Everyone had been patiently watching the river. Nobody word also did not have some people say things. Giovanni was trembling his exciting foot. To come in acetylene lamps or a lot of bustling and go at the time of taking the fish. The black river of water did the looks of his flowing vertical flickering a small wave. If the river in the direction of the downstream full of galaxies captured Giantison, looked like a neat sky with no water. Giovanni, the Campanella as I was not how I feel to like that not only on the edge of another galaxy that, but everyone is still from somewhere between the waves. I quite swam whether Campanella comes out saying, or Campanella somewhere of people known not Jujo to even arrived and to feel like that you are waiting for the coming of someone who stood it did seem not be helped. But suddenly Campanella dad told me flatly, it is already useless, fallen since stood 45 minutes of. Giovanni is standing in front of doctor involuntarily ran up. I know the person who carried out the Campanella. I was walking together and Campanella tried to say that, indescribably any more throat is clogged did not. Then either doctor is what I thought even with Giovanni came to say hello. But was looking for a while scrutiny Giovanni. It was Giovanni's. Thank you very much tonight. He was politely referred to as. Giovanni was the only bowed and not say anything. While holding the or dad's back already, Dr. Stiff watched, also it was heard. No, Giovanni was faint shake their heads. I wish how was the? To me as I had a very cheerful news day before yesterday. But I already get you a time per today. Ship do not I was late. Giovanni's. Please come in tomorrow play to after school you and out. So he says while doctor has also sent a staring eye to those who move to the full of the downstream of the galaxy. Giovanni is a full breast with the other various things. Away from the front of doctor not say Nanimo. Go with the milk and the early mother. And I think tell that the return of the father. Kawahara on the other full speed the ran toward the town.